All right, folks, sorry about the delay there at first. Hopefully everything is now working. Sorry, it just took me a second to prop things up properly. Welcome to Homegrown Yoga, Yoga at Home. My name is Meredith Wolf, and I'm going to lead you through an hour-long Vinyasa class this evening. Thanks for joining me. And I also want to mention that there is a playlist that I made on Spotify if you want to put it on in the background while you practice. I'm not going to play music here at home because I don't want it to interfere with the microphone in any way. But it is on my Spotify page under Meredith Wolf, and it says April 2020. It's pretty easy to find. But you can also put on really any type of music that you find soothing. Just any shuffled playlist will work for the next hour or so. But that being said, we're going to get started just finding a comfortable cross-legged seat on the mat, or you might find a child's pose, really anything that you find comfortable to begin. You're at home in your own space, so just begin to settle in. If you're finding child's pose, the knees will come wide on the mat, the forehead will come to rest over the knees, and then the arms can either drape back towards the legs or forward overhead. And if you're settling into a seat, you can close down the eyes and bring the palms to rest face down on top of the knees. Maybe taking an inhale to roll the shoulders to the ears, and then exhale to let them drape down the back. Just beginning to quiet down the thoughts and the body, just settling into a few moments of stillness. Of course, we're all in our own space this evening, so you might have a little bit more distraction than you're used to your practice. That's okay. You can just look at it as an added little challenge, and if you have interruptions, it's no big deal. It won't be bothering me, so don't worry about it. Just do what you got to do and come back to the mat if you need to take a moment away. But if you can, really begin to shift the focus to the practice and to the mat beneath you. Beginning to lengthen those inhales and exhales, focusing on the way the breath moves in and out of the body. Maybe finding that Ujjayi breathing in and out of the nose. Really trying to find the full capacity of the lungs with every breath. So on the inhale, you'll fill the lungs to the very top, so you don't think you can take in any more. And then as you exhale, just let the lungs rinse out completely. Deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. Just a few more on your own, maybe making each a little longer than the last. Just knowing that if the mind begins to wander, this breath can always draw your attention back to the body and back to your practice. If it wanders, it's really only natural. That's why it's a practice after all. It's never perfect. We'll find a 5-count breath, so go ahead and exhale all the way to the bottom of the lungs. And then slowly inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more inhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Maybe take one more breath on your own. And then the eyes can slowly open. You make your way forward onto the mat, coming onto hands and knees. If you're coming out of that child's pose, you'll really just lift yourself up to a nice tabletop. The wrists will come under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And we'll find a few cat-cows together. On the breath in, we'll drop the belly and roll the heart open, tilting the tailbone towards the sky. And as you exhale, drop the head, round the shoulders, and pull the belly up towards the sky. Inhale to breathe in, find that cow broaden through the collarbones. And then exhale to bow the head and press into the palms. Finding 2 or 3 more at your own pace, breathing in for the cow, exhaling for the cat. Maybe 2 more. Inhale and exhale. And last one. We'll come back to a neutral spine, and we're going to start with a little shoulder work this evening. So that left hand will come onto the mat, just right underneath the face. And on the inhale, you'll take the right arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, bring that right arm under the left armpit, threading it all the way down for thread the needle. That right side of the shoulder will press into the mat for a nice stretch. For me, I rest my face on the back of my left hand, but you've got a couple options. You might take that left hand all the way forward, pressing it firmly towards the floor overhead, or you might bring it back to the right hip pocket. It's just a deep shoulder stretch, breathing into it. Inhale and exhale. 1 more to stay, breathing in and breathing out. On your next breath in, fill up to press that left arm long and take the inhale to the sky. And exhaling back to the mat. We'll rinse it with a cat-cow. Breathe in and breathe out. Back to neutral. Right hand comes to the mat underneath the face. And on the inhale, left arm draws to the sky. Breath in to take it all the way underneath, threading it towards the other side. I'm going to gently turn myself around. The left edge of the shoulder will come down to the mat, and maybe that right hand comes to the back left pocket, or it can even come under the left cheek as a pillow. Take a breath in and a breath out. Hips stay lifted here for another inhale and exhale. Take that full breath in to unravel that left arm to the sky. And then exhale to the mat. This time, we're going to find a puppy pose. So it's a little like that child's pose, but instead the hips stay squared off. The hips stay lifted like they were in the threaded needle, but the palms will come forward on the mat, and you'll begin to drop the forearms and the elbows, and then even the forehead to the mat. If you're really open through the shoulders, the chin can come down to the mat. And if you need more support, a block will come under the forehead. Just really letting the heart melt towards the mat, feeling that stretch across the shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Should feel nice through the armpits for 1 more inhale and exhale. Slowly beginning to walk the hands back towards the knees. We'll take a moment to sit on the heels in a hero's pose, just letting the spine settle. Take an inhale to roll the shoulders towards the ears, then exhale to let them melt down the back. If you've got a block, you might tuck it underneath the hips here for a little support if that's too much on the top of the feet. Just staying for a moment, feeling the weight and strength of your own body on the mat. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Maybe 1 more shoulder roll. Inhale and exhale. From here, we'll crawl those hands back towards the top of the mat. Plant the palms firmly. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, and then press the hips back to your downward facing dog. Finding your first one of the day, or if you're like me, maybe the first one of the week. So just pedaling it out slowly, or maybe wagging the tail side to side and gently spinning the heels. Just finding a way to settle into your own body, maybe rolling out a few times if the shoulders are begging for it. Really just make it your own practice. Pressing the heels will eventually sink towards the mat, but you might find a little bend into the knees to bring more dimension into those legs. And then the chest presses back towards the thighs. Weight is nice and firm in the palms as the elbows tuck towards the head. Breathe in and breathe out. We'll take 2 more here. Inhale and exhale. Last one to stay. On your next breath in, rise to the toes, bend the knees deeply. And as you exhale, look forward and step to a fold at the top of the mat. Take your next breath into a halfway lift. Palms will press into the shins, finding a nice flat back, pulling those shoulder blades towards the tailbone. Take 1 more inhale here, and then exhale back to that fold. Breathing in, we'll come all the way up, sweeping the arms overhead, maybe touching the palms. And for this first one, let's exhale through heart center. Open the palms by the side in your mountain pose, rooting into the feet, closing down the eyes and dropping those shoulders down. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhaling, arms back to the sky, maybe look up. Exhale to fold through heart center to the toes. Breathe in, halfway lift, flat back. And then as you exhale, plant the palms, step the toes back to meet in a high plank position. Setting up your first one for a moment. Those palms, or in my case fists, will come under the shoulders, pressing firmly out of those hands to hollow through the armpits and fill the space across the shoulder blades. Gently reaching those heels towards the back of the room here in this push-up. Take an inhale or exhale. I shouldn't really say back of the room, because we're all in a different room. So the back of the mat. Take 1 more breath here, building a little fire in the body. And then as your next inhale, gently shift forward, drop the knees and lift the toes. Exhale to let everything melt to the floor. The palms will come to the small of the waist and we'll breathe into a baby cobra. And then exhale to lower down. Inhale, coming up a little higher this time, about halfway. And then exhale to lower. Breathing into our full cobra, come on up to long arms. And then as you exhale, come over the knees, tuck the toes, and find that downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling the heels out for a breath in and a breath out. Take 1 more here, inhaling and exhale. Flowing through our sun A's together. Breathe in to rise and bend the knees. And then exhale to come to the top of the mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. And exhale to your fold. Inhale to come all the way up, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale to come all the way down, maybe splitting the palms in a swan dive. Inhale to that halfway lift. And then exhale, plant the palms. This time stepping back and lowering to a half push-up, or maybe dropping the knees, lifting the toes, and coming to the belly. Palms will plant, we'll breathe into a cobra or up dog. And then exhaling over the toes. Find your downward facing dog. Breathe in to rise and bend. Exhale to come all the way to the top of the mat. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling to fold. Breath in, rooting into the feet, rising all the way to the top. And then exhale to slowly fold through the heart. Inhaling, halfway lift, belly pulls up and in. And then exhale through a high to low push-up. Maybe the knees come to the mat as the toes lift. Inhaling through a cobra or up dog. And then exhaling, downward facing dog. We'll find 2 more. Breathing in to rise. Exhaling to come to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Breath in, root to rise, sweep the arms to the sky. And then exhale to fold all the way to the toes. Inhale, halfway. Exhaling through your version of chaturanga, that high to low push-up, maybe dropping the knees. Breathing in to lift the heart. Exhaling, hips to the sky. Last one. Breathe into the toes and exhale to come to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to fold. Breath in, come all the way up and reach high. Maybe add a little back bend. And then exhale to come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bring it through for the full exhale, high to low push-up. Breath in, up dog or cobra. And then exhaling, hips to that downward dog. You're welcome to come down on the knees and find child's pose for 2 breaths. Or maybe you pedal the heels out slowly, inhaling to your tiptoes and exhaling to sink one heel. Breathe in, breathe out. All meeting back in our downward dog. We'll take an inhale and a full breath out. This breath in, we'll rise to the toes. Exhale to come forward, starting the same way. Breathe into your halfway lift, but then exhale to sink the hips towards the heels, and then lift the arms overhead to an Utkatasana chair pose, bending deeply into the knees, dropping those hips, maybe bringing the hands to heart center. I'm certainly going to do so for the sake of seeing the camera. The hips are sinking low, big toes are touching. There's this little space between the heels. Really lifting that heart and tucking that tailbone gently to protect the low back. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. One more here. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in to stand tall, reach the arms up. And then exhale to fold all the way to the toes. On the inhale, the weight will come into the left foot. You'll breathe in to lift the right toes to a standing split. That might mean it just comes to hip height with the toes flexing towards the face, or you might be ready to peel that right hip open and lift it a little higher if that feels nice on the hip. Just bowing the head towards the shin, maybe playing with the balance by bringing one or both hands to the ankle. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. One more inhale to lift the right toes. And then as you exhale, the ball of the foot will come to the back of the mat. You'll drop the right knee. And for me, I'm going to step that front foot just forward slightly. And then on the inhale, the arms come up overhead into a nice crescent moon. Just a modified crescent lunge. Hips are squaring towards the front of the mat. And you can bend into that left knee as long as it doesn't go beyond your ankle. Maybe checking in, making sure it's stacking over top or a little before. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Maybe look up for one more inhale and exhale. Take a final breath in, maybe touching the palms. And then exhale, hands will come to the mat. You'll tuck the right toes and just step the left foot back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Inhale to the toes. Exhale to come to the top. Take a breath in to a halfway lift. And then exhale to sink the hips, squeeze the legs, and lift the arms. Maybe bring them to the heart. Utkatasana, chair pose. Just 2 more breaths. Big toes touch. The full length of the legs squeeze together. Inhale. Exhale. One more in and out. Breathing in to stand tall and reach up. Exhaling to fold or swan dive to the toes. Breath in to a flat back. Lifting that left leg, maybe
all the way up with the toes lifting as high as they can, or squaring off with the toes towards the mat and the left leg at hip height. Whatever feels nice on that hip, trying to open it up. Maybe sitting on the couch a lot lately, if your life looks anything like mine these days. Taking a breath in and a breath out. One more inhale to lift those left toes. And then exhaling to plant the foot at the back of the mat. Maybe scooch that right foot slightly forward and drop the left knee. You can always pad that knee with a blanket or a towel if you've got something at home. And then breathing in. Arms will lift overhead. If you'd like a little alternative option, you can interlace them at the back of the head, dropping those elbows open, maybe lifting the gaze. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more to fill in. And let it go. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, palms down to frame the front foot. You'll tuck the back toes and step the right foot to meet the left in downward dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Flowing through that together. Inhale to the toes. Bend the knees and come to the top. Inhale to your halfway lift. And then exhale to sink the hips. Lift the arms into that chair pose. Utkatasana. Take one inhale. And then exhale to fold. Breath in to your halfway lift, lifting the right leg as you go to standing split. And then exhale to drop that foot, drop that right knee. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. And then exhale, they come down to frame the toes. Step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale to the toes. Exhale to come forward to the top. Breathe into that halfway. And then exhale to sink those hips into your chair pose. Take a full breath in. And then exhale to fold. On the inhale, left leg lifts to your standing split. Exhale to drop that foot back. Bring the knee to the mat. Take one breath in to reach the arms overhead, maybe adding a little back bend. And then exhale, palms to the mat. Right foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. One more here. Inhale and exhale. This breath in, that right leg will lift to hip height. I'm going to scooch myself forward here. The right leg will lift whenever you're ready to a three-legged dog. If you're like me and you're cramped for space, you might bend that right knee and press the bottom of your foot towards the sky. It's a nice little glute workout. You're welcome to find a full three-legged dog, rolling that hip open. But if you want to find a little pulse here, you just press that foot towards the sky, keeping that knee bent, lifting that right thigh. Just maybe finding 3 or 5 of those. Taking one more inhale, straightening through the right leg. And then as you exhale, bend that knee, square it off, step it through between the hands. Left foot will go parallel with the back of the mat. And then you'll inhale up to your warrior 2. Settling in, maybe lining it up. Checking for heel to arch alignment with the heel of the right foot and the arch of the left. It's a nice way to check in. And then once again, making sure that right knee is not going beyond the ankle. Want to keep it stacked over top. Gaze will be forward, but the chest and the hips are opening towards the left side of the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. If those arms are a little tired, you can bend at the elbows, turn the palms to the sky. For one more inhale and exhale. If you haven't already, flip that front palm. Inhale to reverse, but straighten the front leg as you do so. Finding a reverse Trikonasana. Bringing a nice straight line to the right side of the body. That right arm is reaching back and up, and there's no weight on that left hand. Take another inhale and exhale. One more breath in to open. And then as you exhale, rebend that knee into your warrior. Bring that forearm down to the thigh and take the left arm to the sky now. Finding an extended side angle. You've got plenty of options to mix it up. If you have a block handy, which of course I don't, but I've got a box, you can bring that inside the right foot, bringing that right hand a little bit lower to deepen the stretch, or maybe that left hand comes into the back right pocket for a half bind, just a little bit like it did in our threaded needle. Finding 3 breaths here, somewhere that's challenging but not painful. Breathe in and breathe out. Another inhale to fill up and exhale. Last one. Breathe in and exhale. On this breath in, we're going to reverse once again to that triangle. So take that right arm all the way up, straighten out of that warrior. And then as you exhale, arms will cartwheel down, squaring it all off to a lunge. Nice little low runner's lunge. That left hand will stay on the mat inside the right foot. And then on the inhale, the right arm draws to the sky for a twist. Trying to keep that right hip in line with the mat, not letting it jut out to the side here. And if it's too much for any reason, that left knee just comes down. It's even a nice alternate choice. Might give you a little bit more twisting leverage. So take one more breath in, fill up that twist, and then exhale to bring that right hand down to frame the foot. We'll inhale, if you haven't already, to lift that left knee, and then either step it back to a downward facing dog or make your way through a chaturanga. The beautiful part is no one's watching. So do whatever you want and meet me a downward facing dog. If you noticed, I don't want to do a chaturanga. So we'll find our way through anything that you need to get by. Maybe you just skip that one, or maybe you do an extra push-up, whatever works. Meeting in downward dog, we'll take a breath in and a breath out. One more here, inhale and exhale. On your breath in, this time that left leg will lift. Maybe you find that little yoga Pilates option. Shout out to Amy D. Tomaso. And if you are, the top or the bottom of your foot is pressing towards the ceiling. So it's like the top of your thigh is facing your mat. And then you just pulse that leg. Nice little workout here in your 3-legged dog. Chest continues to press towards the thigh. Or maybe you just peel that hip open in a nice down or 3-legged dog. Anything that works. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, square it off. Step that left foot through between the hands. I'm going to switch it out for you here. Coming into our warrior 2 on the left side. That left foot's forward, making sure that knee's over the ankle. You can find that heel to arch alignment and then settle in, bringing equal weight into both feet, relaxing the shoulders. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Breathe in and breathe out. On this breath in, we'll flip the front palm, straighten that front leg, and reverse your triangle. Trikonasana. Right hand can maybe come to the low back, or you just wave it out there. Take an inhale and exhale. One more breath in, and then slowly exhale to rebend the left knee. Bring the forearm down to the thigh, and start by taking the right arm to the sky, finding that extended side angle. Maybe the same thing works on both sides, or maybe you switch it up. Maybe you find the half bind here by bringing that right hand to the left pocket. Maybe bring that left hand just a little bit deeper, making it whatever you need it to be. Settle in, take a deep inhale and exhale. 2 more. Breathe in and breathe out. Last one. Inhale, exhale. This breath in, we'll reverse once again. Left leg straightens, left arm reaches up. And then exhale to cartwheel it all down to that low runner's lunge. Squaring it off, lifting that right heel so you're on the ball of that foot. Right hand will stay down on the mat. Inhaling the left arm to the sky for the twist. Stacking the shoulders and the wrists in a straight line. Maybe bringing the knee to the mat. Take an inhale and exhale. One more breath in to fill up. And then exhaling, left hand comes down to frame. You can inhale to step those left toes back and then exhale to lower. Or you might meet in downward facing dog. Maybe inhaling through your upward facing dog and then exhaling hips to down dog. No one will ever know how many push-ups you do or don't do. Take a breath in and a breath out. One more here, inhaling and exhale. This breath in, right leg will lift to your three-legged dog, whatever's working this evening. And then as you exhale, bend that knee, pull it forward and bring it to tap your left elbow for a crunch. Inhale to lift. Exhale to pull it forward, coming down the middle, rounding the spine. Inhale to take it high. Exhale, this time right knee, right elbow. Inhale to lift. And then this time, finally, the exhale, we'll step it through to our warrior two. Breathing in to cartwheel up. Exhale just to settle in to the legs. Inhale to reverse. Maybe you straighten the leg, maybe you don't. And then exhale into your side angle pose. Just flowing through, left arm to the sky. Find a breath in and a breath out. You can stay right here, or if you'd like, take it a little bit further. I'm going to make just a teeny bit more room for myself. If the right hand is already on the mat inside the foot, you'll just walk those fingertips in front of the right toes. You can also bring the right fingertips under a block or a few books to give you a little more reach here, because you're just going to begin to tilt yourself to the side and take that. Well, really it's the reverse triangle pose we had found, and tilt it all the way on its side until you find half moon. Left arm will draw towards the sky. Left toes will flex towards the face, but open towards the side of your mat. Taking a breath in, whoop, and a breath out. You can always come back into it. Finding one more inhale. And then exhale to slowly close it off to your standing split. We were there once before. We'll take an inhale to lift the left toes. And then exhale to bring that foot to the back of the mat. Beginning to find our crescent lunge. We're starting in that runner's lunge as we did before. And then on the inhale, you'll lift it up. So we found that modified lunge, which is there for you at any time with the knee on the mat. This time the knee is lifted, tailbone is gently tucking forward, and the arms are reaching to the sky. Take a breath in and a deep breath out. This inhale, palms will touch overhead. As you exhale, bring them to your heart. Take one more inhale to lengthen the spine. And then exhaling, that left elbow is going to come outside the right knee. I'm going to angle myself slightly here. Give a better visual. Left elbow comes to the outer edge of the right knee and finding a full crescent twist. So you might begin to turn the gaze towards the right side of the mat, or maybe even back over the right shoulder. You're welcome to bring the knee down at any time and keep that twist. As I said, that might even give a little bit more leverage. So find a breath in and a breath out. One more inhale and exhale. On the next breath in, bring it back to center, reaching the arms overhead. As you exhale, they'll come through the heart. We'll step to a fold at the top of the mat. Take a moment here to just pedal out those heels. Release that right hip from tension. And just let the head shake side to side. Deep inhale. Full exhale. On your next breath in, find a halfway lift. Belly pulls towards the spine. As you exhale, you'll find a high to low push-up of your choosing. Maybe the knees come down. Maybe you meet in downward facing dog. Everyone together taking a full breath in and a full breath out. One more before we find the other side. Inhale and exhale. This breath in, left leg will lift to your three-legged dog. As you exhale, draw that left knee forward and across the body to tap the right elbow. Inhale to take it up. Exhale to draw it down center towards the nose. Breathe in to lift. And then exhale to the left elbow to tap. Breathe in, take it up a final time. And then exhaling, step it through between the hands. And taking a full breath in to cartwheel up to your warrior two. Setting up the feet, and then exhaling into the legs. Breath into reverse. You might straighten the left leg or not. And then exhale, forearm to thigh to find that side angle. Breathe in and breathe out. You can stay here, or you might create a little space. Bring those left fingertips in front of the left toes, either to the mat or to a block. And then as you're ready, you'll tilt forward, lifting the right leg to hip height. The right toes are flexing towards the face, keeping that down dog, that warrior two line up with the feet. You can imagine a line from the right foot, arch to the heel of the left. Breathe in and breathe out. Ooh, maybe you wobble. Take another inhale. And then exhale to slowly close it off like a book, finding your standing split. Take a full breath in to lift the right toes, and then exhale to drop them to the back of the mat. Setting up that lunge, making it a full crescent lunge, but just setting it up as that runner's lunge we found before, and then inhaling to come up, all 10 toes pointing towards the front of the room, tailbone gently tucking forward to support the low back. Breathe in and breathe out. Maybe another inhale to touch overhead, and then exhale to heart center. A final breath in to stack the spine. And then as you exhale for the twist, right elbow to the left knee. That right heel continues to reach towards the back of the mat as long as you have that knee lifted. But if you're dropping the knee, you're welcome to flatten that back foot. Gaze might walk towards the left shoulder, and you're always welcome to split the palms. Breathe in and breathe out. Take one final round of breath, inhaling and exhale. Then inhale to come back to center, arms reach up for crescent. Exhale to come down through the heart and step to a fold. Foot meets foot at the top of the mat. You can shake the head gently side to side and wiggle out the heels. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. From here, we're going to take about 2 rounds of breath to slowly roll ourselves to standing. There's no rush to get there. Stacking one vertebrae at a time. Coming back to that mountain's pose that we found in our first sun salutation. Shoulders are dropping down, palms open by the side. Taking 2 or 3 breaths to quiet the inhales and exhales and root yourself into a little balance. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Another inhale and exhale. One more together. Breathing in and breathe it out. From here, I'm going to face the camera square on. We're gonna hit both sides right away, so don't get too worked up over which foot you start with. I know I can't even begin to know if the camera is mirroring me or not right now. So for me, I'm gonna start with my weight on the left foot, and then on the inhale, I'm gonna lift my right knee to the chest and reach the arms overhead. As I exhale, I'm gonna into my left knee, bring the right leg over the thigh to cross, and then bring my right arm to wrap under my left elbow. But if you just did left for every time I said right, it really won't make any difference. We're just settling into an eagle pose, sinking those hips towards the heels, much like an Utkatasana, only now you're squeezing the thighs together. Those elbows are lifting towards the shin. If it's too much to wrap, you can cross at the elbows and bring opposite hand to opposite shoulder. Just take one more breath in and one more breath out. Inhale to unravel, lifting the knee back to the chest. And then from here, this right foot is going to tuck inside the left thigh, pressing it firmly there, really rooting into that standing leg for support, and finding our tree pose. Hands can come to heart center. Maybe there's a little wind in your room this evening. I'm going to find a flat space on my floor here. But if you fall out, you can always come back into it. Don't be afraid to wave your branches around for balance. Maybe you reach them elegantly to the sky. Maybe you even look up. Take a breath in and a breath out. One more inhale, and then exhale. Fold it down. Shake it out for a moment. Take your next breath in to slowly roll yourself all the way back up. There's no rush to get there. For me, my weight will now come into my right foot, but you are welcome to just find the other side that you didn't find before. On my inhale, left knee will lift, arms will reach up, and I'm going to cross my thigh over the right thigh, wrap my left elbow under the right. It's pretty easy to remember. Whichever knee you have on top is the elbow that you have on the bottom. So you can just imagine that you want to be able to tap one side to the other if you chose to. I'm not saying you got to do that. Settle down into the hips, sink it towards the heels, take a breath in and a breath out. One more inhale and exhale. Breathing in, we'll slowly unravel, lifting the left knee, and then bringing that foot to the thigh for your tree pose. Really rooting into the standing leg, giving that thigh and that foot some tension to really grip for support. Take a deep breath in and a deep exhale. You might lift the gaze or the arms, sticking with that conscious breath just a little longer. Taking one more inhale and then exhaling through to your fold. This time, finding a deep fold of your choosing. Widen those feet out to the sides, either hip width or even mat width. Bend those knees deeply. And maybe you find ragdoll, taking opposite hand to opposite elbow, letting that head drop between the arms. And you might even sway side to side. If you'd like a little deeper, there's gorilla pose. You turn the palms towards the bottom of your feet and walk the toes up to the wrists. And then you have a nice bind here to bring you into it. Taking an inhale to lengthen and then exhale to soften, let it go. Wherever you are, the head is nice and heavy. Just feeling out the hips and the low back. Taking 2 more breaths. The hands will release. We'll toe heel the feet back together to touch. Slowly begin to roll up to standing, taking a full inhale and exhale to get there. We'll find a final vinyasa together, rinsing it all out. Inhale to take the arms overhead. Exhale to swan dive or fold through center. Breathe in to your halfway lift. And then exhale through a high to low push-up. Maybe the knees come down. Maybe you go straight to downward dog. Breathe in to lift the heart. And then exhale to your downward facing dog. Meeting there together for a last breath in and a full breath out. Take an inhale to rise to the toes, bend the knees. As you exhale, step to the hands and just sit yourself down. Coming all the way back onto the spine. Nothing fancy, just laying down on the mat. If you've got a block or a pillow, something you want to bring along, keep it handy by the side. We'll take the knees to the chest and give them a squeeze, maybe rolling side to side to loosen that low back. And then as you're ready, the arms will come out to a T, or maybe you cactus them if you're tight for space, turning the palms to the sky, bending at the elbows. We'll take a breath in at center. And then as you exhale, let the knees fall to one side, rolling onto that hip. We'll hit the other side right away. Whichever side you didn't turn your knees to, turn your head in the other direction, making it a full spinal twist. If you need a little support, a block or pillow comes between the knees. And if you need a little bit more, a hand will come on top of that top knee. Taking a few deep breaths here in your supine twist. Next breath in, knees will come back through center. Exhaling to take them over to the other side, switching onto that hip. Maybe you tuck that block between the knees and then turn the gaze in the opposite direction. Breathing in and breathing out. Taking 2 more inhales and exhales. Knees will come back to center. And we're going to find hip opener just for a moment on each side. You have 2 options. You can take a reclining half pigeon here with the right ankle crossing over the left knee, and then you'll wrap the hands around that left leg, pulling it towards the chest to deepen the stretch in the right hip. If you'd like a different variation, you can cross the right leg over the left, stacking the knees into a reclining cow face, and then you'll take opposite hand to opposite foot to open the feet and deepen the hip stretch. In either one of these, you're doing your best to keep the shoulders and the spine, even the head firmly on the mat, just rooting down onto the spine. If you notice the head is scrunching up towards the legs, just maybe take a pillow or a sweatshirt, tuck it under the back of the head for support. Just finding 4 breaths here. Once again, only you know how many breaths you take, but just take a few moments of stillness here, letting the hip open on its own time, just giving it a chance, breathing in and breathing out. Just 2 more. And from here, you'll gently uncross the legs. Wherever they were, you can pedal them out for a moment. And we'll just switch sides. Maybe the left ankle now crosses on top of the right knee, or the left knee will cross over the right knee if you're finding that cow face, taking opposite hand to opposite foot. I'm going to stick with that half pigeon. Personally, it feels nice on the hip. If you are in that half pigeon and you need just a little bit more, you can gently work that left thigh open with the hand, but try not to put any weight directly on the knee joint. Taking about 4 rounds of breath here, sticking with those conscious inhales and exhales for just a few more minutes. Gently begin to unravel, pedal out the legs. Then from here, you'll take the right hand to the right foot, left hand to the left foot. You'll stack the ankles right over the knees and gently begin to pull down on the feet for a dead bug, but really focusing the attention here on the lower spine. Try to bring as many of those vertebrae to the mat as possible. It's a nice opening stretch for the spine. You can work those knees wider with the elbows if that feels nice. And just rooting into dead bug for an inhale and exhale. And from here, if you'd like, you'll slowly roll side to side into a happy baby, rinsing out the length of the spine. Letting the feet go as you're ready, bringing the soles together to touch, resting on the mat so the knees splay apart. Take a moment to bring one hand to the heart and one to the belly. Just settle into Supta Baddha for a moment, letting gravity take over. See if there's any last little bit of tension or tightness or stress or worry you can let go of. Knowing that you've done so much work for your body and soul this evening, just beginning to soak in all that effort. If you have a block or a wall handy, I would definitely recommend an inversion. And for me, really the easiest option is to turn to your nearest wall and just take the legs right up, bringing the bum to the place where the wall and the floor meet. You can cactus the arms, bending at the elbows and opening the palms. And then if you'd like, you can widen the feet or bring them closer together, anything that feels right. But a great option would be to take a block or blanket and just tuck it under the low back. It'll give you the same effect, a nice supported shoulder stand. Just settling in for a few moments, letting the body and the heart rest by reversing the flow of blood. It is 6:56, so if you've got something to do directly at 7, I would recommend considering this your Shavasana. But if you've got a few extra minutes, I did start about 3 minutes late, then stay with me for just a second here. Keep those feet elevated, knowing that you can make this all the way through your Shavasana, or you can come down in a few moments with my cue. But settle in, legs elevated, heart resting for just about 4 or 5 more breaths. Take at least one more breath in and a breath out. Then the legs can either stay lifted, or if you'd like to find a traditional Shavasana, you'll bring them all the way down to the mat, finding a nice open star pose on the floor, feet splaying apart, palms opening wide to the side, knowing you can wrap yourself up in a blanket or tuck a pillow under you for support. And just letting yourself settle in here for a few moments of solitude. I'm sure it might be tempting to cut your practice short and run to make dinner or on to the next thing you might have going on with the family. But if you can, give yourself just a few minutes here to really indulge and soak it in. You deserve this time for yourself. Your body needs you. taking about just 1 more minute of rest. Take 1 more breath in and a breath out. And if you'd like, you can slowly roll onto the right side, finding the fetal position for the last few moments of stillness. I do have a brief reading to share with you this evening while you take a final few moments here on the mat. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Some little words to keep in mind. If you haven't already, you can slowly make your way to a seated position at the top of the mat, finding that cross-legged seat, bringing the hands to heart center, just keeping those eyes closed for a final moment of gratitude. If you're still with me, or if you were at all, I want to thank you for sharing your practice with me tonight. I hope you're staying safe and well at home with your family and your loved ones. Namaste.